Happened at the Sullivan Cave right outside Bloomington. 19-year-old Lucas Kavar shot this photo after his rescue. He says he was on a beginner caving trip when he got separated from the group on Sunday.
Have you ever felt that gut-wrenching fear of being trapped in the dark with no escape? For explorers of the underground, this is a very real and terrifying possibility. In the uncharted depths of caves, the brave men and women who risk their lives to explore face a myriad of dangers, from narrow pathways and steep drops to freezing waters that threaten to take them under. Some are rewarded with breathtaking sights, while others fall victim to the unforgiving underworld, becoming trapped in the darkness with no hope of rescue. Today, we'll delve into 3 stories that will leave you questioning why anyone would willingly venture into the depths of the earth. Get ready for a spine-tingling exploration of the horrors that lurk beneath our feet. Lost in the Sterkfontein Caves. The province of Gauteng in South Africa has a wealth of natural resources, including minerals and fossils that date back millions of years. It was in the late 1890s when limestone miners made a remarkable discovery in an area northwest of Johannesburg. At first glance, the fossils appeared to be human remains, but upon closer inspection, they were revealed to be the remains of some of the earliest human ancestors, known as Australopithecus. The area would later be dubbed the Cradle of Humankind due to the numerous prehistoric remains found there, some of which are over 2 million years old. The caves in the area, which served as shelters, played a crucial role in preserving the fossils from animals and the elements. Since the initial discovery, significant paleontological work has been done in the area, and the caves have become a popular tourist attraction, drawing visitors from all over the world. But hidden deep within these caves lies a story of danger and survival that few know about, a tale of a man named Peter Verhulsel. Peter Verhulsel was a man who loved to take risks, especially when it came to cave diving. He and his friends were exploring the Sterkfontein Caves in South Africa in 1984, but Peter was not one to follow safety guidelines. He ignored the line in the water that was supposed to guide them and kept venturing off the path. It wasn't long before Peter swam into a maze of tunnels and got separated from his friends. He was lost, alone, and his oxygen supply was dwindling. Eventually, Peter stumbled upon a small island at the end of a tunnel. He climbed out of the water and onto the island, which at least gave him a temporary refuge. However, he had no way to get out of the cave, and his oxygen was running low. All he could do was wait for help. Hours turned into days, and Peter was still stranded. He had no food and was stuck in complete darkness. His only comfort was the hope of being rescued, but it took 6 long weeks for rescuers to find him. Sadly, by then, Peter had already passed away from starvation. The only message he left behind was a heart-wrenching one scrawled in the sand. "I love you, Shirl and Ma." The Mossdale Cavern Disaster. Hidden deep within the Yorkshire Dales National Park lies a cave system so daunting that even experienced cavers approach it with trepidation. The Mossdale Caverns have been explored since 1941, but the vast network of underground tunnels and passages still holds secrets that continue to fascinate explorers. With over 10 kilometers of winding passageways, a journey through the Mossdale Caverns can take up to 10 hours. The cave is notorious for its tight crawl spaces and deep water passages, earning it the highest possible difficulty rating of 5 in the UK. Adding to the mystery is the Mossdale Beck, a river that disappears into the mouth of the cave, only to re-emerge 4 kilometers away and 738 vertical feet lower. Despite using dye to trace its path, the connection between the 2 points remains an enigma that has stumped cavers for decades. The Mossdale Caverns may hold secrets that are yet to be discovered, but one thing is certain: those who dare to venture into its depths are in for an unforgettable adventure. In 1967, John Ogden and his friends embarked on a thrilling adventure through the Mossdale Caverns in England. With every step they took, they were exploring uncharted territory, but they had no idea what was coming. Suddenly, the rain began to pour, and it didn't stop. The creek outside the cave started to rise and soon turned into a full-blown flood. The water rushed in through every opening, and Ogden and his group were trapped. They scrambled through a narrow tunnel as the water continued to rise, but soon they heard the terrifying sound of rushing water behind them. Within moments, the water had engulfed them, rising up to their necks. In a desperate bid for survival, Ogden found a small crack in the rocks ahead of him and squeezed himself into it. He managed to reach a pocket of air at the top, but there was no space for anyone else. As the water filled the tunnel, Ogden watched in horror as every one of his friends drowned. He was the only one who had his head above water, but he was trapped in that narrow crevice. It was days before anyone found him, but by then it was too late. John Ogden had perished, still clinging to that small pocket of air in the narrow pathway, fighting for his last breath. Sullivan Cave. Nestled 10 miles south of Bloomington, Indiana, lies a cave of colossal proportions. Sullivan Cave, the 4th longest cave in the state. The Karst Conservancy owns and manages this underground wonder, and for good reason. With nearly 10 miles, 16.1 kilometers of mapped passageways, Sullivan Cave is not a casual tourist attraction. Only expert or advanced cavers may apply to explore its depths. and they must come equipped with all the necessary gear, including lights and padding, due to the cave's low lighting and technical difficulty. Sullivan's Cave's history dates back to at least the 1800s, and mysterious markings found in the claustrophobic backbreaker room are a testament to that. However, the cave is not limited to tight squeezes. Its vastness is highlighted by the colossal Colossus Room, a massive chamber measuring 120 feet, 36.6 meters high, and 200 feet, 61 meters long. In 1962, explorers discovered a whopping 2,000 feet, 610 meters of new passageways, followed by another 8,000 feet, 2,438 meters, and 8 large chambers just 4 months later. Despite its natural beauty, Sullivan Cave has fallen victim to vandals, forcing the installation of a large gate in the 1990s. Any caving groups that wish to enter must unlock the door on the way in and then lock it behind them to ensure that no one else can enter. In 2017, Lucas, a 19-year-old student at Indiana University, decided to join the caving club because he thought it would be a fun way to make new friends. One day in September, the club organized a trip to Sullivan Cave, a challenging but suitable location for beginners, provided they had an experienced guide. Lucas and 11 other club members, including one staff member, arrived at the cave's parking lot, and they all got ready to explore the caves. Lucas took off his jacket and left it in the car before grabbing his bag with water and snacks. They reached the gate of the cave at around 10:30 a.m., where the staff member unlocked the gate and they all entered the cave. After dividing into 2 groups, the club members explored the caves for almost 3 hours. When they reached the backbreaker section, Lucas found it tough and decided to hurry through it to catch up with the other group, but he missed a narrow opening that led to the exit and ended up in a different section. He waited for a while, hoping someone would come to get him, but no one did. He then searched around and found some air markings that pointed in the direction of the exit. He followed them and saw the light off in the distance, which turned out to be the exit. However, when he got closer, he realized the gate was locked and no one answered his calls. As the day went on and it got darker, Lucas became increasingly worried that no one had realized he was missing. He tried to call for help, but his phone had no reception. As the night progressed, bats started entering the cave entrance, and Lucas went deeper into the cave to avoid them. Eventually, he found a place to sleep, and he spent a cold and uncomfortable night there. Lucas had been stuck in the cave for over 2 days. He had eaten only his 2 Cliff Bars and drank all his water. To pass the time, he wrote letters to his family, fearing he might never see them again. As his phone battery died, his hopes of being rescued dwindled. With no way out, Lucas wandered around the cave, desperately trying to stay warm and hydrated. He even licked the damp cave